Hello everyone, Republic Jim here, and today I wanted to unbox and do a first impression on a pop-up shelter that I got. Actually I got it 3 days ago, but I've been waiting for a chance to do it during daylight and actually set the thing up and check it out. I got this from Amazon, and full disclosure, I did not pay for it. I got it in exchange for testing it out and doing a review on Amazon. And, you know, I would not have actually bought it if I'd had to pay for it myself, just because it's not typically something that I would necessarily be interested in. But what this is it's marketed as a pop-up shelter, primarily like for watching sports or other outdoor activities where you want to have good visibility but be protected from the weather. So it's an entirely clear pop-up structure, obviously not insulated or anything, not really designed for camping. But what got my attention when I looked at the description is I realized it was a hub style pop-up, much like the ice fishing structures, and so it should be fairly quick to set up and could be fairly weather resistant. And then the other thing that made me decide to test it out is, well, it is actually large enough that I can lay out, you know, put a cot in it or a raised bed of some sort and lay crosswise in it. Smaller than a regular ice fishing structure. It's kind of rectangular. But anyway, but what got my attention on that is a while back I had done a video comparing the pros of tents and tarps, you know, the good points of each. And two of the things that I'd mentioned specifically about tarps were the visibility, being able to like wake up and see the sun coming up and look all around, see wildlife and all of that, which you can't really do with a tent unless it's just mesh. And, you know, it doesn't typically work real well doing that in the winter, but with a tarp you can. And because the other point that I mentioned there that's a real positive for tarps is it's easy to set up a fire and get the heat from that. Much harder to do that with a tent. But in this case, because of the fact that it's transparent, I realized I could probably set up like sort of a redneck super shelter if I put a reflective emergency tarp on the back wall of it and then build a fire out in front. The radiant heat will come through the clear plastic and then reflect off that back wall and trap the heat inside there. So I thought that would be worth checking out, and hopefully I'll be doing an overnight camp out like within the next month or so, testing out that theory. But for now, you know, this is $100 shelter on Amazon. So, and as I said, primarily just for getting out of the weather, watching sports or something. So I'm not expecting a lot as far as quality, but I'm going to open it up and see what I find out on that. And of course, the actual box, much smaller than the shipping box. Amazon at their finest, saving all that cost on shipping. Okay. Now let's see what we have. So we have what looks like a reasonable carrying bag. It's pretty lightweight, but holds it all nicely, and you know, the strap's sturdy enough for the weight. And it has instructions in there, but where's the fun in that? There's some ground stakes and lines, which I'm not going to bother with right now because obviously I'm just going to be setting it up. Maybe I should. Ah, I see. Here's the point. Yeah, I can tell right now it's going to take a little work to get these loosened up. Jeez. Yeah, so apparently it would work better if I stake it out. Because otherwise it just wants to collapse in on itself. Jeez. Like that. And I can see right off the bat that it's smaller inside dimensions than what they're claiming. That's probably the maximum dimensions out to where the hub mechanism is there, but nowhere close to that size on the floor. So yeah. And of course I already bent that stake just trying to drive it into the frozen ground that I've been driving on here. So that's not going to work real well unless I have something to auger down into the ground like my heavy duty stakes that I have, or some big solid steel ones that I can pound in with a hammer. But that's good to know. So somehow I don't see this being quite as comfortable to sleep in as what I was hoping. But if I can get this back wall to stay put, stake everything out tight and open that up, then I should be able to put my tarp up there anyway. And, yeah, I will be able to lay crossways in there. I don't know about whether my cot will actually fit, but worst case, I can at least put down sleeping pad and some insulation to get me up off the cold ground, and then put my emergency blanket or tarp in the back, and get my fire built out here, and I should pick up a lot of heat coming in there anyway. Well, as I said, I wasn't expecting much for the price and the fact that it was on Amazon, and so far I'm not disappointed. Alright, so yeah, it's going to totally collapse unless those bottom parts are staked out on the corners. So that's valuable information. I know that when I go to set it up in the field, the first thing I need to do is get it staked out nice and tight so that I can stand it up and not have it fall apart. But anyway, and then on the top here, it actually has these fabric panels that zip into place that can be opened up to make it clear on the top also, but for my use it would make sense to leave them zipped in place there just for extra insulation on the roof. So anyway, a little bit underwhelming so far, but I think the basic concept is good. As I said, I need to stake it out really tight, and I'm not going to be able to do that on this ground in front of my barn here where I drive on it all the time. If I had ground that wasn't all compacted, I'm sure I could get some stakes in there, and I'll take along some of the auger type ones so I can really sink them in there good and have them hold, and then I'll be able to set this up and give it a go, and I think it should work out okay for just a crazy little pop-up super shelter setup, but we'll find out that in the future. For now, my initial thoughts on this, the quality's about as cheesy as I was expecting, but yeah, it has potential. So you'll be seeing this again sometime, hopefully within the next month, on an overnight camp out with a big log fire. So that's all for now. This has been Republic Jim. I'll talk to you later.